Hey, welcome to KAZ Radio TV. It is your girl, Angela, with another episode of No More Triggers. Today we have a special guest, the beautiful Vanna Love. Say hello.
Hi, guys.
We are going to be doing Vanna's Q&A, and then we're going to be learning a little bit more about Vanna as well. And if we have time, you know it's going to be story time. I'm going to read off a story to Vanna and get her opinion about it. But first, I am going to do my announcements and my shout outs. All right, so first announcement is that ACL Productions is looking for 6 poets. I had my model call. Models came out, slated. I am full on models. I do need poets though, about 6 for my show next year called the Black Parade Poetry and Fashion Event. If you are interested, please DM me on Facebook, Angela Lane. Another thing I would like to announce is that I am officially, well, I've been officially nonprofit, but I never told you guys that. So donations, sponsorships are so welcome. Just go to www.aclproductions.org and go under the donation tab. You can donate anywhere from $1 to $100. That's what I got set at right now. But your donations and everything are truly welcome. You are helping ACL Productions in a way you don't know. So let's see what I have next. Shout outs. All right, so last time I said I was giving a shout out to Seta Trophies. I did not have the address, but I have the address for you guys now. Seta Trophies. They make trophies, plaques, anything you want. They have a great turnaround rate, and they are not that expensive. They are, their address is 4335 Rocky River Drive, Cleveland, Ohio, 44135. If you need anything made, I suggest you guys go there. They are a really good place. Again, great turnover, and the lady in there is very nice, and they're not expensive. The next shout out I want to give is to Darla Fox. Darla Fox owns a bridal company. She got a store in South Park Mall. The address is 500 South Park Center Road, Strongsville, Ohio. Trying to look at my notes. And she sells bridal gowns, homecoming gowns. If you know anybody that's getting married, please refer them to her. She has some beautiful gowns. Darla Fox. And last but not least, I want to give a shout out to my friend and also a former guest, Eugenia Vaughn. Eugenia Vaughn gave me this. And I should be wearing it, actually. I think I'm going to put it on while I'm talking to Vanna. But she gave me this. It's like a domestic violence ribbon and a like a pin. She got this from the program that she was going to help her cope with her domestic violence situations and to get her back on track. So this was very nice. She didn't have to give me this because this was hers, and she gave me the pen, and this is like a little pen right here, and it's like a book, dating an intimate partner violence, breaking the cycle of abuse. So I'm definitely going to look at that. So thank you so much, Gina Vaughn. It also came with like 2 more bracelets, so she kept the bracelets. Those were nice bracelets, so I would have kept them too. But thank you so much for that. Now. Time for Vanna. Vanna. So, Miss Vanna, hold on, let me get to my questions. Who in the world? Somebody from Texas calling me. I don't know nobody from no Texas. All right. So, I'm going to be doing Vanna's Q&A once again. So, I'm going to start with the first question. Vanna, tell me about yourself.
So, I'm an artist from Cleveland. Obviously, that's why I'm here. I'm just here to tell my story on my ex and my past relationships and just, share my story.
Okay. Now, before we got on air, you were saying something about music.
Yeah. So I am a musical artist, and I do mainly like R&B and pop. In my music, I try to talk about things that I actually go through, about relationships too, you know,
Yes.
struggles that I do go through, just because it's like very therapeutic, and it's a way for me to get across what I really feel without aggression towards the people I feel that way about.
Yes.
So yes.
I totally feel you on that, because
Yeah.
when I was in my abusive situation, I was trying to figure out a way to get it out there. Like you
Cope,
said,
yeah.
cope, get it, out there. And I know I didn't want to write a book. I don't read books. I want to write one because I don't read them. So I was thinking of, trying to connect. I can't sing. Even though I try. Shoo-doo-wah. No.
You tried.
But I couldn't think of what I wanted to do. And then I'm like, wait, I like to model. I like to walk the runway. I'm good at telling stories. How about write a play, fashion show, intertwine it, and it was just like history from there. So I totally understand that. That was like your escape, your,
Right.
like you said, your therapeutic, your therapy. Nice. All right, so let's go back, okay? Tell me about just 2 incidents that happened in your abusive situation.
So I would say the 2 biggest incidents are, I would say, the lying and the manipulation, So I would say the biggest 2 incidents were if I would call something out that I knew was like out of place, he would basically try to put it back on me, or he would make it seem as if like I was crazy. Those are, I would say, like the 2 major things. It wasn't really like there were situations like a female would be like there, or it would be blatant that he was doing something, but obviously he was so good at manipulating the situation, and like I would basically fall victim to like his lies. So
That's that mental.
Oh,
that
yeah.
mental abuse. That's, I don't know. I can't. They're all bad. The verbal abuse, the mental abuse, the physical abuse. It's all in one, because it all can mess you up.
yeah.
Yeah. I want to ask you, did it ever get to the physical, or
No,
did you leave before it got?
Yeah, I never got physical.
Okay, good.
But I feel like because it was so mentally abusive, like it did eventually affect me physically.
Yes.
Even though like it wasn't like physical on his part, but like when you are mentally abused for so long, that becomes trauma, and trauma has such a great effect on your body. It's ridiculous. Like I feel like people don't understand, like trauma turns into like sickness, like real sickness, you know what I mean? And that can be like debilitating. You know?
Yeah.
So
Definitely. It's been what? My son's 14, about 16, 17 years. And I'm still going, through it.
Right.
I stopped seeking help because I was like, I can help myself. As the years go on, I still don't feel like I'm completely myself.
Right.
How I was before I met him. That's where I want to get back to.
Right.
See what I'm saying? My phone, I think I'm just going to turn it off. But I'll be trying to see if people are going to react. But
It's okay.
my phone got a mind of its own, y'all. But yeah, so I completely understand that. And, unless you actually been through that situation, you really wouldn't understand.
Oh, no.
The manipulation of the tongue can mess up with your mind. And like you said, eventually it drains you, your body, your soul, everything.
Yeah.
So when you were in that situation, how did it affect your relationships with like your friends and family?
That's a good question. It really did affect, like, I didn't realize it though. I feel like it does, but it creeps up. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a subtle change.
Right.
Like it starts with like you like talking to them differently, or like more attitude because you're frustrated in your situation, or you're constantly going through a battle of your own in your head. So I feel like that reflects how you treat other people. And what I mean by that is like you'll be so like caught up in your mind where somebody will try to help you, you're so like quick to defend yourself or defend the person that, you know, like when you're in this situation, they're like, hey, I don't think that person's good for you. And you'll be like, well, no, like that's not true because this, that, and that, and this. And you're so quick to defend that person because you're in the situation. You don't know any better.
Right.
You know what I mean? To you, that's a person you love. And on the outside, they're like, hey, like that person does not love you and you should get away from it. But like I said, it's hard.
It takes you to want to get out that situation. And that's what I tell people all the time. Y'all can be in the person's ear left and right. It's going to take that person. When they're ready to get out that situation, they'll get out the situation.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's what I feel. You know, and I feel like the people that are in your ear, they shouldn't get mad at you because you are going through something right now. You know, the love is the toxic love is clouding your mind, it's clouding your judgment.
Right.
You know, that's what they call them, the outsiders, even though they're family and friend. The outsiders need to understand. You cannot walk up to me and just say, come on, he doing this. Because right now, my mind is clouded. I don't see what you see.
Right.
I see it, but I don't see what you see. You see what I'm saying?
Or you're in denial. Like you're in denial, like of what you see, you know? Because you don't want to believe that that person is that way.
Right. Exactly. All type of stuff run through your mind.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So what was the final straw and how did you leave the situation?
I think the final straw was when it became to the point where I told him, I was like, hey, like, you're not good for me. And I seen that. And he was like, basically, again, trying to put it on me. He was like, oh, you're crazy. Like, I have the same mental health issues. And basically, like, degrading, like, what I felt or, like belittling me, you know? Because every time I would say, hey, like, this is what I'm going through, his struggle was, like, worse than mine. Or what I'm going through is like not as bad, you know.
Whatever you got going on, that really don't matter. But I got this going on.
Exactly. So I feel like in that way he would make me feel bad. So I feel like by him doing that, it was like maybe I shouldn't tell him. Like I feel like that was a way of him shutting me up and like.
So now you feel like you gotta walk around with
eggshells.
like eggshells.
Yeah.
Because it's like certain things I can't say. It's gonna trigger him to
exactly, like it would make the situation worse, or I would be afraid that if I did say something wrong, he would leave me. Or that's the thing too, he would always like, I'm gonna leave you if you da 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 da. So he would use that as a tactic to like keep me, you know, like held down.
I know that last time he said it and you was like, bye,
right?
leave.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I'm gone.
That's the last time you're gonna say that to me.
Yeah, it just got to the point where I was like tired of being disrespected. I remember like this was kind of funny, but like I took away from like a week away from him. I like did not answer to any of his calls, like any of his texts, nothing. Okay, and then that week I was like praying because I'm a believer, and that's how I knew too. I was like, it wasn't good because I was doing things I normally wouldn't do. I was speaking in ways I normally wouldn't speak. So I was like, I'm so out of character. And I feel like that's what you mean by like, I'm not myself. And like, they just take you out and
just completely, they just snatch you completely out your character. And you just a totally different person.
Yeah. And it happens within months. That's why I'm saying it's not like a sudden change. It doesn't just happen overnight. Like it happens slowly. So you don't realize it even happens. You know?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that was my final straw. It's like, nope, can't happen. Gotta go.
Okay. Did you receive any outside source help when you were in that situation?
Yeah, I would say like my family, they helped me a lot. They're like, I don't think that person's good for you. Or they would just constantly remind me like, hey, like of my worth, or like, you know, my friends would tell me like, hey, like when you're ready to leave, you're ready to leave. Like I can't, and like my family would always tell me the same thing, like I can't force you to see that,
right?
But like you're gonna have to see it yourself. And eventually I did, and I was like, wow, like,
Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad your family were the type that were patient with you, knowing that you had to make that decision yourself. I'm glad they weren't making it worse by nagging the
right.
situation and speaking negative.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a positive reinforcement and them letting you know that, hey, we're here for you with open arms whenever you do decide to leave that situation.
Right.
So I feel that that's really good. Because some tear the other way thinking that's the right thing to do, and it's not.
Yeah.
Um, this is completely off subject, but I was talking to someone and he was telling me how his I think it's his sister's son or someone you can tell that he was going to be part of the LGBT community.
Mm-hmm.
And I could relate because when my brother was younger, I could tell.
Right.
I just could tell. You could just tell. And but how he was going about it was, I feel, not right. Because he was trying to basically, I don't want to say beat, but like whoop it out of him.
Yeah. No.
You can't.
Mm-mm.
That's part of who he is. He's that little, and acting. That's just part of who he is. That's my opinion. And mine's.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't asked for nobody else's opinion. If Vanna Love, you can give your opinion on it if you would like.
Right.
But don't backlash me. I just feel like you hitting or whooping a little boy to make him become what you want him to become.
That's not right.
That's not going to help the situation.
Yeah. I feel like no form of abuse is the right way. I feel like to teach somebody, it's like you got to teach them, like I feel like when you abuse, you're teaching a child or a person to become more silent. And silence is the most dangerous thing. I heard even like that's the most, like, when there is silence, like that's the greatest, like in psychology, that's the greatest form of abuse. It's like, silence. Like if I give you the silent treatment, yeah, that's terrible.
I know that do get under some people's skin.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay. So back to the regular scheduled program. No. How long after you left did you feel like you became, and I always put this in quotations, normal?
I would say, because I was going to school at the time, I think because I had gotten anxiety, because before I didn't have anxiety. So I said, like, my mental health got terrible. So I feel like I do still struggle with anxiety, but not as bad as I used to. Like, it was very bad before, to the point where, like, I wouldn't go to school, or, like, I would just stop. I couldn't even go to the store because it was just the trauma. Like I said, the trauma response, like the fight or flight in your body, like the stress. Oh my gosh, the stress got terrible. I couldn't work anymore. But then my current boyfriend now, it was funny how, like, it all works out, like,
Right.
But he helped me, like, a lot through that. And he was the one who, like, kind of told me, like, hey, like, that's not a good situation to be in. Because I would tell him, like, hey, like, yeah, he, like, talks to me this way. He was like, no, that's not good. Like, what are you doing? Like, when a guy really loves you, like, he doesn't ever talk to you like it's respect. It's just like a respect thing.
And I feel, it goes both ways too.
Yeah.
A lot of these females have smart mouths.
Yeah, for sure. And so, like, he helped me a lot, and then my family helped me a lot too. Like I said, just get out of that thing that I was in. And then the music, I wasn't really doing music before. Like, I was, but not very consistently. And then I started making music more, and I got out how I felt about the situation.
Nice.
And it's crazy because, like, my boyfriend went through a situation too, an abusive one with his ex. So, like, we could kind of, like,
relate to each
and
other.
I feel like that's why we're so close now, because we helped each other a lot through that. But yeah, I feel like I'm pretty back to normal. I feel like I'll never be the same, just because that did change me, and I have to accept the fact that I'll never be the same, because that was just such a traumatic experience, you know?
Yes.
But I feel like it did help me in good ways too. You know, I'm
Yeah.
stronger.
Yes.
I feel like I'm more, because of that situation. The reason why I left too is because I became confident through that struggle. Because before I would be like, oh, it's okay. You know, I'd be like, so like, whatever, it's fine, treat me however, because I didn't have the confidence. I didn't like know what I want. I didn't have standards ultimately. And now that I do have standards, it's like anything that's below that, I can't do it. Sorry. You know,
did y'all hear that?
I can't
She
do
took
it.
the words right out of my mouth. You get to a point where you have standards. Everything you say, that is completely true. And I know that we probably had talked about it a couple of times with, you know, different people. But a couple of guests, you know, said that it's no way to actually be back to normal.
Yeah.
You know, you can get that close, but I think that dark part of your life always just, it takes a little piece of you away.
Yeah.
And but by you continuing to date, upping your standards, like now I won't take no bull crap. Cut off quick, fast, and in a hurry. Before, when I was younger, I didn't care. As long as you want to be with me, cool. I don't care.
Yep.
You know. But now it's totally different. You know, I've been taking, you know, time out for me. The young man that was here, Sean Hendricks, he's helping me more.
Right.
He actually seen me after I got out of my abusive relationship, because I was modeling before I met him. Once I met him, modeling stopped, of course. All that stuff stopped.
Right.
And I was trying to get back into it. So he was one of the first guys that I met, because I was modeling for a company, people called Cool, Smooth, and Jazzy, back in 2011. And he got me together, like quick, fast, and in a hurry. And I always have had a connection with him. But now it's like, I need your help again. He helped me so many ways, just by telling me, remember, look in the mirror and tell yourself you're beautiful. Tell yourself you're beautiful every single day. Make sure you hold your head up high, because I'm so used to holding my head down.
Yeah.
That's just how I was you know, I couldn't look at nobody. He had a problem with me looking at people.
Yeah.
So I had to hold my head down, you know, because I'm like, how you looking at him for? Couldn't be gone to the store longer than 5 minutes. He's timing me. You was going to the store too long. What were you doing? I could see a friend, anything. I can't, you know, hey, how you doing? I can't be myself.
Yeah.
I'm bubbly, you know.
Right.
I'm getting back there, though, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Well, we basically touched on what you're doing in your life now.
Yeah.
So you're doing
music.
the music and
working, just trying to get on my feet now, because I'm a graduate. So
nice.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to figure it out. You know, it's kind of hard. I feel like 18 and 19 is like the hardest year, because you're just kind of figuring out yourself. What do you want to do? What don't you?
Can you say that
do?
again? Like, how old are you?
I'm 18.
I'm gonna get my phone. Sorry, Larry. Okay, I'm sorry. My phone interrupted you. What did you say?
I'm 18. Yeah.
18. And how old were you when you was going through that situation?
17.
17.
Yeah. 17,
So,
but I feel like I'm glad I did, because
so I'm like, get out the way.
good. Yep.
So you know what signs to look for now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like that taught me so much about how people lie. You know what I mean? Like, just like a liar. Like, I feel like I know what signs, especially like physical signs, and like even like when their behavior changes, like when you notice that they're like more withdrawn, or they're more like, I don't know, defensive, and I feel like that's how you know, because, or when they blame you for something that you haven't done, because I'm like the most loyal person, okay? Like, when you're mine, okay? And I'm not nobody else's. So, like, there's no reason. you know. And I
Right.
feel like I've never really gotten mad when I was blamed for anything, because like I know my conscience is clean. I know it's like good.
Yeah.
But when it becomes tiring, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm a good person. Like, you know you're a good person and you know what you're not doing. But when they start to put the blame on you, that's when you got to kind of wake up.
Consistently, it's
Yeah, because then
consistently.
they're feeling guilty. It's a psychological thing. Because, or when they're saying, oh, I would never cheat, or I would never do this, I bet you they're cheating, because they're trying to, like, it's just a psychological thing. You know what I mean? They're trying to say it's not okay, but they think it's okay. Like, that's
Right.
just how it works, you know?
Right.
So I learned a lot of the mind games.
Yeah. So now that this experience is over with, what are some of your triggers? Do you have any triggers?
Yeah, I actually do. I've noticed that, like I said, that silence thing is one of my biggest triggers.
Okay. So silence triggers you.
Yeah, silence, because it's like, why are you silent? Like, what are you
Yeah.
thinking? Like, just because every time it's ever been silence, it's like uncertainty, and like, and it's always ended up wrong. So I feel
Okay.
like that's when
You would rather just
just be
communicate
open.
and
Yes,
talk
communication is the
rather
biggest.
than being silent.
Yeah.
Because now things is going on in your mind, wondering what he thinking about.
Right, exactly.
Okay. So I understand that. Got
Yeah.
it. So with these triggers, do you have like certain type of coping mechanisms? Like when he's being silent, did you explain to him that was a trigger to you?
Yeah, like that's one thing about like my current relationship. We're very open with each other. He like wants to know. He's not like just shut up about it. He's like he
Okay.
wants to figure me out, and he knows like I have anxiety, so like I just tend to overthink naturally. But to cope, I just remind myself like, hey, this is not the same guy. You're not in the same relationship. Like, that already happened. And I give myself like the reassurance, like he has reassured me, and he's never given me a reason to like think otherwise. So like calm down, you know, because you got to learn the difference between a trauma response and like something that's actually going on in reality. Because I feel like our trauma response, like if you're triggered, that can trigger so many other things. You know what I mean? Like it takes just that one thing, and then you're back right at that spot where you were. So it's important to just like be in the moment and just know like, hey, like this is not the same situation, not the same person. So
yeah, so
like
you
that's
gotta basically you talk to yourself, give yourself that reassurance that okay, it's not the same guy, it's not the same situation.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
so
awesome.
That's what
good
I
that
try.
you guys have that open communication. That is wonderful. Keep that. Let's see. So basically the last question was basically did you receive counseling after the fact? But I can tell that your family and your new relationship is your counseling. They are your support system. So we don't really need to go into that question. But I do want to ask you, do you have any final words of wisdom or encouragement for our audience?
Yeah, just don't settle. Like that's the ultimate thing. I feel like we're just so used to settling for something. Like, you deserve, like, I feel like people deserve so much more than what they think they do, just because that person that they're with is making them feel like they don't deserve that. They don't deserve, or they're the greatest thing they could ever have. Or I feel like that's what they make them feel. But no, you deserve so much better, and just know your worth. God says you're worth everything. So I just feel like just don't settle. That's the most important thing.
Now,
know
Tennessee.
your worth.
Yes.
Know your worth. Yeah.
Ultimate. That's most important. And at your age, you know your worth. Some people 30s, 40s, they still don't know their worth. 50s.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful that you know your worth. And I know my worth, but I still have that cloud of judgment. I'm really hard on myself sometimes. Trying to ask myself, am I doing the right thing? This and that. But I try to let go and let God.
Yes.
Just let them take control. You know.
Yeah.
So That was really good final words of wisdom. And you guys, that is all of the time that I have for today. I want to just again thank Vanna Love for coming out with her Q&A. Make sure you guys tune in to the next podcast, not this Wednesday coming up, but the next Wednesday, where Vanna Love is going to tell her story. All right, so signing off, and remember, learn how to control the triggers. Don't let the triggers control you. Y'all have a good day. Mwah.